year 650, I woke to realize my story is the story of what comes after empires collapse. They said the world had forgotten us, but I found its memory buried under my plow. My name is Edric. I live in Wessex, by the River Avon, where the Roman roads lie cracked and silent, swallowed by weeds and time. Once, legions marched here. Now, only the wind passes through the empty stones. We are the ones who came after, the people who built from what was left. I wake before dawn, not because I want to, but because the land demands it. The air bites my skin as I step outside. The mist is thick, cold, and smells of wet soil and smoke. My wife, Ethelwyn, stirs by the fire. Our children still tangled in sleepwolf. 7 years old, dreams of swords and dragons, while little Ephron clutches a wooden doll that has no face left to smile. The floor beneath us is dirt. The walls creak when the wind blows. Smoke curls in circles under the thatched roof, and I cough, but it feels like breathing keeps the fire alive. I take the plow of wood, iron-tippened, press it into the soil. The earth resists, stubborn and frozen from the night. Each spring we plant barley, because barley survives when everything else fails. I tell my son it's golden grain, the food of heroes. But truth is, it tastes like dust unless you mix it with hope. Sometimes we plant beans. Wolf once said he would shoot them to the moon. I laughed until frost killed half the field, and then I didn't. The river gives us water, cold and slow. Sometimes it gives sickness too. Cattle upstream foul it. But what choice do we have? We boil, we pray, we drink. Last autumn, while turning the soil, I found a silver coin Roman. My son's eyes widened. He asked if it was magic. Primera told him, no, it used to buy bread. Now, it buys only stories. He said stories are better. Maybe he's right. When the taxman comes, he carries a stick carved with not just a tally for our debt. He counts our goats, our pigs, our sacks of barley. I offer a chicken. He laughs and takes the barley. Our neighbor once refused to pay. They burned his barn. His wife and children sleep under our roof now. His space is small, the air heavy, the night's louder, but no one sleeps outside. Not anymore. We fear 3 things: frost, raids, and sickness. Frost steals our food. Raids steal our peace. Sickness steals everything else. Last winter, a cough swept through the village. 3 graves appeared in 1 week. I held Lefrone as she asked, "Why does God hide when the cough comes?" I told her maybe he's out gathering firewood. She laughed. We both did. For a moment, it felt like warmth. Still, there's hope. I see it in Wolf when he swings his wooden sword, shouting at invisible enemies. I see it in Lefrone when she brings me wildflowers, saying the earth gave her a gift. Ethelwyn dreams of a house with a door that shuts tight and a table always full of bread. I smile, even when I know the walls we have might not survive another storm. On market days, I walk to town with a sack of barley over my shoulder. The road is mud. The air smells of smoke and sweat. I barter barley for salt, salt for cloth, cloth for nails. Sometimes I hear laughtermen joking about how barley soup tastes better when you imagine it stew. We laugh, because it's easier than cursing. Laughter is a kind of bread too. At night, when the fire burns low, shadows dance on the walls. They make shapes hunters, wolves, spirit. The wind howls outside, pressing against the hut like it wants to come in. I feed another log to the fire, pretending it keeps the dark away. Ethelwyn spins wool by the dim light. I sit beside her, and she hums a song her mother sang. Her voice is soft, but the silence listens. I take her hand, and for a moment, the world feels steady. They say the Romans left. I say they never built for people like me. Their roads were for kings, not farmers. We live on their bones, and the cracks between their stones. But we live. That must count for something. We make our tools from iron, our houses from wood, our hope from habit. In town, Pigs wander the streets. Children run barefoot through the mud, chasing each other between huts that lean like tired men. The law says, steal a sheep, lose an ear, or pay 12 shillings if you have them. Few do. Life is short, but life continues. Tonight, I think of my son's dream to launch beans into the sky. Of my Dr. S. wildflowers, of the frost that will come again, and the taxman's notched stick, and the graves too fresh to forget. I think of it all, and still I plant, I dig, I carry water. I laugh at bad soup, because if I stop, the story stops. And if our story stops, then the earth really will forget us. Tomorrow, I'll wake before the sun. The crow will cry from the trees. The mist will still hang low. I'll take my spade and walk into the field. The ground will be cold, hard, unwelcoming. But I'll dig anyway, because seeds need soil, and hope needs hands. When the sun rises weak, pale, struggling through cloud's isle, lift my face to it, not because it's kind, but because it came back. And I'll whisper, this is who we are. Not emperors, not warriors, but people. The ones who kept digging, the ones who kept believing the earth would remember us. And maybe one day, when someone finds our tools buried deep beneath their feet, they'll say, here live those who came after empires, those who turned dust into bread and silence into song. Until then, I dig. Until then, I live. Until then, primera, endore.